Garoppolo, Derek Carr, and our strong likelihood they're going to be on the market, right? We also think there's a couple other quarterbacks out there that aren't as good, but they'll have a market. And then we have the element of surprise. We get one big last pick. So let's start a little quarterback carousel here. So let's start with Brady. I'll start where I think he lands. Now, I've always thought Miami's the best fit. But the story today by the Las Vegas Review-Journal does make me believe between Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, Colton Miller left tackle, Hunter Renfrow. These are veterans. They're all ready to play. You don't have a lot of ego. I would guess Raiders, also indoors. It's pleasant. Tom's got a lot of wealth, no state tax, but I do think the Mahomes-Herbert thing's a bit daunting. I'm Miami or Raiders. I would say I'm 51% Raiders based on the Las Vegas Review-Journal story. It appears they're going to go after Tom hard.
Yes, I would agree. Tom Brady, Raiders, perfect fit. You guys, I'm sure everybody knows the DJs do a residency in Vegas. You know, they go there for like 6 weeks. It's popping. The clubs are awesome. This is Tom Brady's residency. He goes to Vegas, crushes it. He's never shied away from a challenge, Colin. He doesn't care about Herbert, Mahomes. Right. He's Tom Brady. He's got Josh McDaniels. Now, I did hear this week, sounds like Josh McDaniels may relinquish play-calling duties because he was calling plays this year as head coach. He may have to make a concession and give that up. I don't know if it's out there, but, I heard it from someone credible. Okay. So I think Brady makes sense with the Raiders.
Okay, so Jimmy Garoppolo is next. Now, I sat down with the staff this morning. Garoppolo's injury, though he's had a few, was like an ankle injury. It's not throwing shoulder. And he was having a very good year. His last 4 games with the Niners, he was 4-0 with 8 touchdowns, no picks, and completed 72% of his throws. He was playing really well. Better than Brock Purdy, although the narrative is Purdy's an upgrade. Yeah. The other thing is, Mike LaFleur, his offensive coordinator, he's got a connection. Robert Saleh, that's the Jets' offensive coordinator. They have a connection. Also, Saleh is an alpha male. He is all dude. There's a lot of belief that Derek Carr and Saleh are not really a personality fit. Garoppolo's a guy's guy.
I like it.
He knows him. I'm going to go Garoppolo Jets. Also, Jimmy's played in big spots, big games. New York can engulf people. Increasing, there's a sense that Saleh, New York, isn't great for Derek Carr.
I like it. I think it's a good fit. Jets fans, I think, would take that in a heartbeat and run to the AFC East Championship next year. I will go with a major curveball, and I will say Jimmy Garoppolo lands with the New England Patriots. Colin, if you remember, Belichick drafted Garoppolo in 2014. You've been saying for weeks now that Kraft is going to say to Bill, hey, what's going on, Bill? You're going to make some staff changes. Bill will say, you know what? You made me get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember when Tom Brady and his wife complained to you? Bring me back Garoppolo, and I'll show you I can get to the playoffs and do some damage. Mac Jones, I think we would agree he's regressed a little bit. I think Jimmy Garoppolo and the Patriots makes a lot of sense.
Derek Carr next. Now, I thought Derek Jets was the fit. If that's off the market, the Dolphins need a healthy distributor, not a playmaker. He goes down to Miami. This offense, remember, Mike McDaniel and Shanahan wanted Kirk Cousins. He doesn't move well. He doesn't have a big arm. He is a distributor of the football who's always ready to play on Sunday, concerns with Tua's health. Derek Carr to the Dolphins. What say you?
I'll see your Derek Carr to the Dolphins and raise you. Derek Carr had some really good years with John Gruden. Remember that? They were thriving together. I want to go back to a good play caller. Give me Brian Daboll and the New York Giants. Derek Carr shuns the Jets for the Giants. You can see a Jets fan. We're always the bridesmaid.
You think Daniel Jones is going to the Dolphins?
I don't think Daniel Jones is staying with the. I think if Brian Daboll can say, boy, I keep Daniel Jones or I could get an upgrade, we would agree. Derek Carr's an upgrade over Daniel Jones.
I think, yes.
And Derek Carr says, man, I'm going to be a great quarterback. Brian Daboll's worked with everyone and made them great. Derek Carr, New York Giants.
Wow.
I think Daboll is going to be the guy who's going to get his pick because he's so good as an offensive mind.
All right, Ryan Tannehill, I think they move off him in Tennessee. Not a dead cap hit of note. Arthur Smith gave him his best year. I think he goes to Atlanta. Marcus Mariota can't stay healthy. The kid out of Cincinnati, Desmond, he's 0-3, has not looked good, looks overwhelmed. Nobody thought he was a huge prospect. Tannehill's won a lot of games. Did in Miami, did in Tennessee. I think Tannehill goes to the Falcons.
Yes, love it. There's an out in Mariota's contract, so they can cut him with no loss. Ritter remains the backup. Tannehill will have Kyle Pitts and the kid Calvin Ridley, I believe, is back from the gambling suspension. They'll be decent next year.
All right, Baker Mayfield, if you look at his numbers with the Rams, 95 passer rating, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. I think he stays with the Rams. Yeah. He's got commercial endorsements already. I think L.A. works for him and Emily, his beautiful wife. I think he stays and understands I would rather have McVay elevate me than go make more money to an awful franchise. This is a well-run franchise having an off year.
Loves L.A. I think that's a great fit. I will keep this short and sweet. Baker Mayfield goes to Seattle this weekend, beats the Seahawks, ruins their season, and then goes to Seattle in the offseason. Great deep ball passer. He's an upgrade over Geno Smith. We would agree on that,
yes,
certainly.
I think so.
I think Baker Mayfield, he could be a good quarterback with Seattle and maybe get them to the playoffs next year.
I don't think he's a huge upgrade. I think he throws a prettier ball than Geno.
Oh,
but, all right, and now our big swing. My big swing, Green Bay moves off. Woo. Aaron Rodgers gets a first-round pick, gets 2 firsts, plays Jordan Love. He goes to Tennessee. Vrabel, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Herbert. You can't do it with Tannehill. He swings big. Mike Vrabel now makes the calls in that organization. He goes and gets Aaron Rodgers. First-round pick this year, a second next year. Big swing in the AFC.
I like it. I will go with my bold prediction. The Miami Dolphins have not had a franchise quarterback since Dan Marino.
Wow.
And Mike McDaniel goes all out and gets Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens, who are sick of his stuff. Whatever's going on with the knee injury, Miami pays him. You got Lamar, Waddle, Tyreek Hill.
That would be the fastest
Stephen
team
Ross,
in the league.
Stephen Ross has been searching for a franchise quarterback forever. This is spicy. Dolphins get Lamar Jackson. And Jets fans are crying.
I am here for that. That would be Peterson has unlocked something because I think you've acknowledged for the last month that Trevor's playing faster, moving quicker. Yes. Is that still do you still maintain that's why he's better? They sped him up.
Well, I think Trevor Lawrence is clearly a plus thrower. I wouldn't call him a special thrower. He's a plus thrower. He's long, he's lanky. He needed to be quicker in everything he did. And this is where coaching comes in. And there's nothing, by the way, to me, there's nothing wrong with saying that a coach helped a quarterback. That is not a knock on a quarterback. You know, Trevor Lawrence, because of the world in which we live, since he's been in high school, he's been talked about as if he's generational, and that's not his fault. But Trevor Lawrence needed work when he got to the NFL. He was a bit of an overstrider. He was a little slow in things that he did. He threw a ton of tunnel screens in college. You almost have to disregard those throws when you evaluate a quarterback. So he needed work on being quicker in his drop, quicker in his set, less of a strider, which helps with his ball placement because then he doesn't become scattershot because he hurries his stride. And all these things have taken place over the course of this season, which have made him look more compact, play more efficiently, be more consistently precise with his ball location. So he's clearly become a better player as this season has progressed. And he's playing at a very high level right now.
You know, I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes the story is better than reality. I said this years ago when Russell Westbrook won the MVP in basketball. I said the story of him winning because Kevin Durant bailed on him. The story is better than the player. He doesn't make anybody better. The story's great. Kevin Durant leaves him. He wins the MVP. The reality is not as great as the story. So the story now in Brock Purdy is, oh, my God, look at what an upgrade. What's the tape say on the Niners' 7th final pick, Mr. Irrell? What's the tape say on Purdy?
Yeah, and I think this is a great segue because this is another example where he's operating the offense very efficiently, but it's a really well-schemed, well-designed offense, as you know. Kyle Shanahan does a phenomenal job. He has for years. I've been fortunate enough in my career to sit down and talk with Kyle and get some of his thoughts. And he is really, really good at how he goes about attacking defenses. Now, Purdy is executing at a high level. I would say he's brought 2 things to the Niners offense that Jimmy G, who you and I both like, and I think he's been a very effective quarterback in this offense for years, but 2 things Purdy brings that Jimmy G does not. Number one, they can do more play-action boot. They can get him outside the pocket because he has lighter feet than Jimmy G. And secondly, he does bring a little bit of that second reaction movement element for the same reason. He's a better athlete. He can get outside the pocket when the pocket is squeezed or closed down and he's forced to move. So I think he does bring those two elements. But other than that, it's the same offense. It's the same kinds of throws. And these are difficult throws that the Niners ask their quarterbacks to make. A lot of throws between the numbers where there are a lot of bodies.
Yeah. So a big game, Buffalo, obviously off the DeMar Hamlin situation. We're getting good news today, but that's it's going to be a very interesting weekend for this franchise. Heavy hearts there, and they play New England. It's a testament to Belichick's coaching. That offense just does not offer a ton. It's